Max Asmus move?
You know what?
Max Asmus. Oral Roberts. That was Max Asmus, yeah, the guy at Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts.
Oh,
yeah.
Oral Roberts?
Yeah.
Yeah. University back home?
Yeah.
Close? Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Have you been there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's nice.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on Washington after watching?
Really don't underestimate them. Even though they had a bad game, everyone has bad games, but they can easily come back and beat us at our home ground. So, we're looking forward to the matchup and putting in a good game plan already. So, yeah.
How different is it going to be for you if you're lining up in the slot against Giles, considering that he used to be a guy that maybe you would see in practice, but not?
Yeah, that was like I went up against him like every other day. Like it was, that was the matchup. But it's going to be fun. Seeing him and then his teammates. So I'm just excited for the whole game and ready just to dominate.
You received a lot of praise for your performance Saturday. How would you rate it?
I felt like I did really well. I felt like I could do a lot more, but that was just we all got our feet wet that game. New defense. Didn't really know how it was going to turn out, but it turned out pretty good, and hopefully we can keep that going. So.
You said you think you could do a lot more. I guess where do you think you could take the next step?
Just covering more. I feel like I didn't really get too much action in the past game, besides like once or twice, but definitely want to see more of that out of myself. Covering more, covering better, whoever I cover. So.
How was Coach Mack in his first game in terms of being like?
He was even killed. During practice, it was kind of just like practice. Like he didn't really get too high or too low. Believed in us. After that first drive, he didn't really get too high or too low. So he just kept encouraging us and making sure we execute our assignments. So.
Dax, your coaches are asking you to do a lot on the field. Do you like your role?
Oh yeah, I embraced it. At first it was kind of tough for me to adjust to all the new calls and all the responsibilities. But once I got in the film room more with my coaches and they broke down everything, all the nuances to it, it kind of flowed to me a lot better. So yeah.
How different is your job this year versus the last two?
A lot, night and day. But just keep studying it more, and I feel like it'll translate, to the whole defense. So.
After the game, Vincent Gray said one of the things he likes about watching you play is kind of the cat and mouse game you can play with quarterbacks. Will you go? Will you not go? From your perspective, what is that like, and how does a DB get good at that so that you do confuse a quarterback?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like an art to it. Sometimes, you kind of want to play with it, but at the same time, you have to know you have to know your responsibility at the same time. So it comes with the reps, and it's something I'm not really familiar with. So I feel like I did well for my first time doing it, but offenses are gonna pick up on that fairly quickly. So I gotta keep changing it up, and seeing whatever I can do to use the quarterback as much as possible.
As you started watching more film, were there nickels or slots that you looked at and said, I like that, or I want to try and be like that guy, or anything?
No, not really. But coming from Coach Mack, coming from Baltimore Ravens, like I saw a lot of Marlon Humphrey, and he was making a lot of plays, so I could see myself doing that. But I really didn't compare myself to anyone. But definitely a lot of good film coming from where he came from. So.
How much of that art is you figuring it on your own and kind of doing your own thing versus the coaches telling you like exactly what to do?
So repeat that one more time.
How much of that art of confusing the quarterback is you doing it on your own, figuring it out, versus the coaches saying just do that?
It's kind of like 50-50. Sometimes I play with it, and sometimes if we want to disguise a certain coverage, they want me to line up in it or never line up in it. So it's kind of who we're playing, like last week, RPO, they kind of wanted me to show it, pretend like I'm going, pretend like, that window was open, but it's really not. So just depending on who we're playing and, go from there.
used to